really astounding to me, the defense that it continues to pour in for Rand's view on killing Native Americans. Now, I find it really stunning. You know, it's like the people I'm arguing with are very intelligent, I think, yet I hesitate to call them smart when they're making an argument like this. But I do believe they're smart. They have IQ, these people, and they are, not that I put much, I think IQ is kind of bullshit, but I don't have a better way to state that. You know, I think they have the fundamental elements of intelligence. And yet how can I emphasize that when we're talking about an argument here where I think it's a stupid argument. Now, in objectivity, you're either right or you're wrong. You know, there's no relative more right, more wrong, really. Okay, there's ways to state that, but fundamentally, you're right or wrong. And the colonists were wrong, right? According to Rand, they did not have the correct view of property. They did not have the correct view of individuality. You know, many of them were collectivists. The Mormons fought Indians a lot, and they're very collectivist. They have their own charity. They're very strict in tithing and taxation, basically. And you're going to say, but they were somehow right, and that the Indians that they attacked should have seen that they were being liberated and should have joined and become Mormons, I guess. It's incomprehensible. I mean, so first of all, their view is wrong. So both views were wrong. But okay, let's say we do give you this way to say, well, hey, the colonists were on the right track. They were going to get to the right truths first. I don't agree that they were necessarily any closer. You guys are using a Hollywood version of Indians and this notion that they're all these wishy-washy collectivists, which ironically you're taking from the kinds of collectivists in the West and you're projecting onto the Indians. But the thing is that let's just assume that's true. Let's say that these colonists were ahead. They were closer to the finish line. If being ahead halfway through a race gives you the right to kill the other racers, yeah, I do think you'll probably win that race, because everybody else will be dead no matter how long you take, or if you decide to leave the track for 1,000 years before returning, you're going to win because you're allowed to kill everybody as soon as you get ahead in the race. And you don't have objective truth yet, so that means you're allowed to kill other people with your non-objective truth, with your subjectivity, just on the basis of being closer to the end, with no promise or assurance that you're actually even going to make it to the end. And, and lo and behold, all of this is done to justify which of these factually incorrect groups? Oh, the one that you have most relation to. Well, what a convenient coincidence that is. In objectivity, you're either objectively right or wrong. There is no being wrong but correct enough to kill. And another thing is that people think, these same people are saying that it's irresponsible to talk about it as genocide. Yet, they're dead. Okay? They've been super decimated. The original term decimation, my understanding is, it's to take 1 out of 10 people get killed. That's a decimation. We tend to think of it as more than that. So I'm just calling it super decimation, where instead of taking a tenth and leaving 9/10, we took 9/10 and left a tenth. The standards for justifying murder, if you have any non-aggression principle at all, are supposed to be very high. And if someone's an objectivist, then those standards are super high, in fact impossibly high according to me, but at the very least much higher than this idea of, the colonists were wrong, but those Indians should have become Mormons. Really, the Indians should have become Mormons, because some of the Indians were being attacked by Mormons, and you're saying that these Indians were given a chance to integrate with the colonists, and they should have just done that because it was a better system. So you think Mormonism, a very collectivist religion, is objectively better than a band of Indians who are just banded together for survival and really have the individual rights to leave the tribe and own their own tools and things. And you think that somehow the Mormons were correct enough to go ahead and kill these people, and those people should have just been expected to integrate with the Mormons, which definitely means becoming a Mormon. And I don't see where or how you're going to get that. I know you can't. I know you can't be done. That argument cannot be made. And I'm really shocked that people would defend a cultural bias with these objective terms. But I shouldn't be, because that's what I've long thought of Rand. It's just usually her followers are not necessarily following every single thing they said. Like, it would be possible to follow Ayn Rand and say, well, obviously she was being irrational in this case, and she didn't apply her ideas consistently. And I guess, naively, that's more what I would have expected in an area like this, rather than a justification of aggression from people that supposedly believe in a non-aggression principle, that there should be no looting and mooching. Those are bad things. And yet here the Indians were looted, and it's okay. And it's not okay because they were objectively right. It's just okay because they're related to us, and we think we're more objectively right, and meanwhile the same people are complaining about how bad this nation and socialism and the state of the world, and no country on earth has really applied their ideas, and yet still there's people that can kill other people because they're closer to those. They're wrong, but they're closer to these ideas. And so if you get ahead in the race to get an objective idea, even though you haven't gotten it yet, you can just kill everybody else. I don't know. You probably don't even think that's what you're saying, but it is. That's what you've just said. I don't get it. I mean, I want to hear more, not because I think it's possible to make a strong argument, but just because I'm dumbfounded. What do you guys think that you're saying? You're saying that the imperfect can objectively has the right to kill the other imperfect. Doesn't make sense.